so glad you guys are back hanging around the podcast and the house with us. We are here on YouTube. We are here on Spotify. We are here on Apple Music. We're maybe here on TikTok for those of you remaining. We'll see. But as always, I'm your podcast host, Noah Marano. Back again, along with my co-host and producer, my favorite Chinese spy. How are you doing?
Hey, I don't appreciate you outing me like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a secret?
I mean, it's in the name.
I mean, you do have millions of fans around America right now.
Hey, and I just got extended, baby. Call me KOC.
Listen, Red Note had an offer on the table. It was big.
It was.
But listen.
But the
orange man up in the White House.
I'm the people's champ.
He really made something come through.
He did. Call me KOC with my extension coming in, all right?
Yeah, speaking of that, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Vikings, did sign a multi-year extension. Not really seeing too many details on it right now. There were rumors of teams trading for him. There was apparently rumors of some frustration built up last time when he didn't get the contract extension, I think last year. But listen, I'm just glad he's around. He's a great coach. Can't really wait to have him continue to develop. We also did see a little nasty rumor today about Sam Darnold. Potential that he is out the door. I've seen potentials that he's most definitely out the door. I've seen potentials that he's most definitely going to sign. So I really don't know what to believe at this point. But the rumor you sent me was that he's basically going to be informed that we're not going to sign him, and we're going to ride this thing out with Daniel Jones at the helm until JJ can come back healthy next year.
Yeah, I sent that, and I was surprised by your response because it sounded like you wanted Sam Darnold another year, and so I kind of want. And again, real briefly. I know we're yappers here. That's why we have a podcast. But you kind of expressed that you almost wanted Sam Darnold another year. I was surprised by that because by the way he performed, in the crunch time when it mattered most, in the end of the season, he looked terrible. So I know it's not all his fault, but I want you to kind of go into what were you kind of thinking.
The main reason I wanted to keep him was because JJ doesn't come back to the middle of the season due to his injury. He still has to do a lot of rehab and stuff like that. But basically, I would rather have someone who just played really well in our system for a year, even if it's for a 1-year price tag, even if we're starting to push the cap with all these defensive signings, knowing that next year he's not going to be on the team and that we're going to get all that money back. I was okay with that sacrifice. That being said, I also am okay with this sacrifice. I don't love or believe in Daniel Jones at all, but we've seen KOC now do it with a lot of different quarterbacks that nobody believed in. So I think KOC can get enough out of Daniel Jones to help us survive however long it is until he really wants to put JJ in. Because let's be realistic. It's going to be JJ at this point from everything I'm hearing. It's just a matter of when. And so I would rather that be Darnold because I've seen it on the field versus Daniel Jones. I've seen what he can do. And he's a little more fresh than Darnold, who had kind of a gap period and stayed in some backup roles before he got back on the field to play again. So that was my only gut reaction to hearing that. And just sad because he was a good story. I mean, saw that video literally 3 weeks ago of him being hoisted on teammates' shoulders and thrown champagne on, like he was just won the Super Bowl. And KOC's looking on like a proud father. And now we're to the point where it's it had 2 really bad weeks. And now the world's just kind of ready to turn on him.
Also, the 2 most important games of the season for the 1 seed and
1,000%. And I agree. A lot of that is on Darnold. A lot of it was on Darnold. He just did not play like the same guy we saw the first 14 weeks of the season. So
I think what's interesting is I think it's smarter to let Darnold walk and just rock with Daniel Jones because who knows how much you're gonna have to pay to keep him that 1 year.
It's gonna be a $40 million franchise tag,
and that's money you can go towards re-signing some defensive
1,000%.
pieces.
And we have a lot of free agents. A lot of these defensive players that have been playing really well for us this year, they were on a 1-year deal. We just kind of brought them in off the street. And so I would really like to sign a lot of these players. It's also looking potentially like Brian Flores will stay if he's not really jiving with the teams left remaining, and that's definitely a possibility. I read a report on that today. So I would personally rather ride it out with Daniel Jones into JJ. Well, now that we've kind of discussed this, I'm sad, and I would have preferred Darnold, but
the money's not worth it.
The money's not
because he's not the long-term guy.
If we can do the same thing with Daniel Jones, or at least half of the same thing with Daniel Jones, I'm okay with the decision.
I mean, Sam Darnold was on his way out of the league, so to think that you can't do it with Daniel Jones, who yes, and by no means was his stint in New York impressive, but he had like little glimmers of like, this guy's solid. I mean, he tricked everybody in that front office enough to pay him
Oh man,
a crap ton of
terrible
money.
mistake.
So
And like a lot of the reports were saying that Darnold is going to get like a 4-year Daniel Jones contract instead of a Baker contract, regardless of those 2 games. And so if that was the case, and if that's on the table, like definitely, like no, we cannot do that.
No,
I do not want to do that.
that is the stupidest thing you do.
And that's not even to say too. Like I think Darnold specifically in our system could continue to grow, and like this was his first playoff and first like bright light situation. Could he get better at that? Potentially. I don't think I can see him doing that in another team, just because I think our system was built for that. But I don't see him going to like the Raiders or like the Giants on like a flyer, or even maybe back to San Francisco and like doing maybe in San Francisco. But I don't know. I just don't see it. But
well, it's also like KOC came out and said he wants a mobile quarterback.
Darnold was mobile though. Like a lot of the year, he really was.
There's levels to this. He can get out of the pocket. All right, like you had Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Anybody
0%
anybody is a step up from Kirk Cousins. So but I think he wants somebody like can actually like get out, you know, and turn it. And I'm not saying he wants like a Lamar, or Jaden Daniels, but someone that's maybe a little bit more. And JJ could be, you know, he's a little bit younger.
JJ did show that a lot in college. I will say, like the specific quote you're referencing is he said he's looking for a quarterback who has good mobility and can make plays with their legs, not just their arm. And so,
like, but Sam wasn't running.
But honestly, like he on the plays he needed to like take off and go get a play. Like he was doing that a lot of this year. That was where a lot of our success stemmed from, is because he was playing that part in our system so freaking well, and he was avoiding the sacks when it came time to the pressure building in. So I agree. Like there is levels to it. Sam is definitely not an otherworldly mobile guy. But where I think Sam has, it's like, do you want the more throwing with Sam versus the less throwing with Jones? If it means the running is a little bit higher.
Jones be toting that thing.
So, but anyways, let's get into these playoff matchups. We're not going to spend too much time on the previous matchups. I really do want to look ahead to the front end of things in next week's matchups. But let's get into the most boring one of all time, at least this week, was the Chiefs Texans.
I really wasn't boring.
So boring is the wrong word. I say boring in the aspect of it's literally just the same outcome that everybody kind of expected it to be, which sucks. But there is some stuff to discuss on this. The voodoo powers are still kicking.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I will say, before we get into our takes on the referees, because I know you have something to say about that. Travis Kelce is now the first all-time in playoff receptions, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards, past Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Literally did that in one game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to take him a couple games in the playoffs to get through that. Nope. And then the Mahomes to Kelce connection has more completions, more yards, and more touchdowns in the playoffs than Brady and Edelman, Brady and Gronk, Aikman and Irvin, and Montana and Rice. So, like, at this point, that duo is the greatest dynamic duo in the playoffs of all time.
Yeah.
It's insane. And that's just what it is. Like, we just need to call it what it is. That was why they won.
For sure.
Because the Texans just, as well as defenses they played, they decided not to guard the one person on the field they needed to guard.
Yeah.
And so...
And they did.
And yeah, I don't know how much of that was like them scheming him open versus the Texans just really not guarding him, but I feel like you could have done better than that.
They did. They were doing okay on Kelce, but then it's like Worthy was like making great plays.
Yes.
And so it's like they kind of had to like also help.
Yeah.
And so it's like just those specific plays where it was just one person on Kelce, it just got exposed. Yeah. Because as soon as there was one guy, it's like, okay, I'm throwing it at him.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I learned from these round of games in the playoffs is that, like, for the most part, this was true about all the games, is you have to play your best, and you have to, like, it really, a lot of these games came down to who made more mistakes. And the Texans absolutely just, listen, were the refs bad? Yes. I think we can admit it. But that being said, was that the reason they lost? I don't think so.
I can make an argument.
Sure, and I think there's an argument to be made, but I will say, like, if you switch, like, I know the two biggest calls was the Will Anderson one, and the one where Mahomes is sliding and the Texans defenders kind of collapse on him. They don't really hit him, but they hit each other, but they still get flagged. I think Mahomes has gotten to the point where he's, like, basically doing the Trae Young thing in the NBA, where, like, he just knows the rules so well, and he's able to bend them to his offensive will and draw the fouls that he needs to draw, even though, like, they're kind of scummy. And the NBA made that course correction. They got rid of those fouls. But that's not to say like Trae Young and Luka and Harden didn't like abuse them for a few years there. And we're seeing Mahomes do that now. He's just abusing these little rules, and he slid late. He didn't get touched. But by the technicality of the law, like in 9 times out of 10, the QB's going to get that call. Also, on the throw where Will Anderson tackled him, I don't think that was a penalty, but he did make head contact. It was I didn't like the call, but at the same time during the regular season, like if it's other games, I do think they're probably getting that call still too. That being, and so like I say all that to say, I do just think this game was the Texans just didn't do enough to win, versus more like the refs did kill them, and I think the only one where it really mattered was that first drive where they basically gave him the first down, and then the next play he hits Kelsey for like a 30-yard bomb, and they go down and score that drive. Instead of it being 3-3 and the Texans getting the ball back, it goes up 10-3, and now you're down in a deficit again. I think the Texans, they definitely, with their wide receivers fully healthy, I think that would have made a difference in this game because the run game was actually pretty good. Mixon was trotting that thing, but I do want to hear your opinions on because I know you were pretty heavy on the ref situation in this game. You were asking us some questions in the group chat about it. But I do feel like the Texans just didn't do enough to win. As much as I did want them to win, I just don't think they did like enough.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, you took my thunder, kind of brought it up, but no, I think the biggest play is the Will Anderson one. It's just because, like, yes, like that penalty cost them a first down, which they in turn ended up scoring. Which you're right. Instead of getting 3-3 and Houston gets the ball, it's 10-3, and now your game plan kind of changes because you're playing from behind.
I do agree that the game plan changing does come into where the ref decisions actually affect the game. Yeah,
and so it's just like, listen, I just think that roughing the passer call was just like, it was just really, it didn't need to be called just because like we watched it. I think we were watching it together. Like we were literally sitting right next to each other when that happened.
And
we were just like, what is he supposed to do?
I know.
Because he's going for a sack, and Mahomes throws it so late.
Yeah.
And he tries to let up, and he hits him because he's going full speed.
Yeah.
And he throw the flag, and it was like 3rd and 15.
Yeah. If you watch the replay too, that ref was like
already holding it. And that ball I mean, he got hit obviously, but it was a terrible ball. Not even catchable. No,
it was really bad.
Not even catchable.
I actually remember thinking in the moment, like, wow, that was like the least Mahomes throw I've ever seen.
It was like 15 yards out of bounds. Like way, like not even close to the guy.
Yeah.
And so to bail him out with that call, it changes a lot. Now listen, did Houston have opportunities to win the game still? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They only lost by a touchdown. Or a touchdown and a couple extra points. So it's like they had opportunities to win, and they didn't do enough. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say that like that call didn't change the course of the game, whether it's to Kansas City's benefit or not. Like, and I think it did. So it's just like a little frustrating. I understand that like these dynasty teams get these calls, and Brady got calls all the time or no calls. All the time, and it happens, but it's like, it's a little frustrating because if that exact play happened to like any other team, I just don't, and it's not Josh Allen or Lamar, and even them is a little questionable.
Yeah.
I just don't think that flag is coming out.
It's fair.
And so it's like,
he's getting the calls now.
Is it a matter of, hey, they're a dynasty team and they're just going to get these calls, or is it a matter of, hey, these calls do happen, everybody's just like super honed in, focused on the Kansas City because like they're the top dogs.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, because we have social media now and we have all of our Twitter and Instagram refs? Yeah. Or is this always been happening? We just didn't have social media to point out every single little fault.
That's fair.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, Kansas City won, and I agree, like just the Travis Kelce, 117 yards receiving, like I don't know if he did that at once this regular season.
No, bro.
And I will say, like, when Kelsey did get the ball, he was looking old.
He looked
He
slow,
was
bro. He's
looking-
been looking slow.
He was
He's just
looking
open.
old. Yes, he's just open.
Open.
He's just open.
Wide open, bro.
So it's like he's just
and
so
he's not
booty
just open
butting.
for the check down. He's open like 15, 20 yards
Yeah.
down the field.
Yeah.
Like every time.
So it's not like he catches it on a drag
Yeah.
and he breaks off for 30. No, he's catching at 30, maybe getting 1 or 2 more yards.
And
Like
then it's stupid.
so it is kind of annoying. I'm praying now,
speaking
actively
of that,
praying on their downfall.
Sorry if we offend you, but I think we do need to take a moment to pray away the voodoo
Dude,
from the Chiefs.
I don't. This is not
because
not time and place.
because
We need to go to we need to go see a priest.
fair. Maybe we need to go to a church. Maybe
Yeah.
we need as much holy power as we can get.
And we'll get into that. We'll get into that because we're finally
Oh,
back.
man.
Me and you are finally united in the AFC side.
We
So
are. We've
so
joined
we'll get
forces.
to that. But what's the next game?
All right, Commanders Lions. Want to touch on this one just because it really wasn't much of a game. Commanders kind of
Yeah,
chokehold this team.
that was.
Which man, if that
It was a
not
game-
on my bingo card.
It was a game until the pick six, and even with the
Yeah.
pick six, the first pick six, it still kind of was
I
a game.
know.
But then
At any moment, though, at every moment, I'll say it just felt like the Commanders were in control.
Jaden was chilling.
So, Jaden,
It's
Listen,
impressive.
he's got to be, and I'm putting my stake on this. Because I had a conversation with this about two people this week, and one of them before this game was like very much like, no, I don't think so. And then after this game was like, yeah, I agree with you. And the other one's an Eagles fan, so he has to not agree. Jaden is simply just the best rookie we've ever seen. He is first among all remaining QBs in passer rating, touchdown to interception ratio, passing yards per game, and yards per pass in the playoffs right now. He's first amongst all those. In completion percentage, he's second. It's the only thing he's second in. Of the rookies to make a conference championship game, he's the 7th to do it, like rookie QBs. All of them had a top 5 defense. Half of those 6 had the number 1 overall defense when it came to opponents per game in the playoffs. His defense is currently 18th.
Middle pack.
It's a little bit below average. It's like just touch. And so we really got to have the conversation. I told you guys this after the game. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC now. Like I think he's firmly taken it by the throat.
It's interesting.
I would say if Matt Stafford got to this game, I would still give it to Matt Stafford. But Matt Stafford did look old in parts of that Eagles game. And it was weird because it was snowing. But he did look old in parts of that Eagles game, even though he was dealing. And I think future-wise, obviously, like, who would you rather have over the next 5 years? I mean, I think I'm taking Jaden.
I hear
Only
you.
because I think Stafford's going to retire soon.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you, and this is very, very on brand with you. This
honestly,
statement,
it's not
this
though. 'Cause
take.
you remember at the beginning, I was thinking about this. Remember at the beginning of the season, before the draft, I told you and like a bunch of people, like I just don't understand why Jaden is a top 3 pick.
You did.
I
But
was not on that train.
I'm saying right here at this moment, seeing what we've seen from Jaden Daniels and you,
I'm
having
here.
this take is very on brand.
I'm here.
and
I'm
I'm
all
not,
in.
and I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm all in.
I love Jaden Daniels. I do need to see this over at least maybe like 3 years.
Sure.
You
I
know?
get that. I get
You know,
that.
like I want to see it
Understand.
because we were having similar, maybe not this exact conversation. We're having a similar conversation about CJ last year. CJ, it's a little bit of a different situation because his team has been really hurt and all this stuff. But obviously this year has been a little underperforming by the standards he set last year
Sure.
because he had a great rookie year.
Well, with
Fantastic.
CJ too, I think we'd have to see what next year is.
For sure.
Next year is like the determining what was this
Yes.
type of thing.
For sure. It's a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Jaden, I love him. I hope this is just the beginning and he is going to be a baller
Yeah.
because he's just so fun to watch. I love rooting for him.
Yeah.
But I do need to see this over 3
That's
years.
okay. I respect that.
Over guys like, even though golf is golf, like even over like people like golf, Hurts in the NFC, it's like yes, Jaden's up there, but it's like okay, but what if he crops the bed next year and
I
he's
don't
like
care.
terrible?
I don't care.
Still
I will die on this hill. I really will.
No, and that's fine.
I will absolutely die on this hill.
And I'm on my way up. I'm
Yeah.
climbing.
I'm
just
trying
not-
to throw you the rope, and
Yeah.
I'm begging you to grab the rope.
No, but I say I can do this on my own. I'm a strong, independent man. I will see you at the summit.
Because you know what I decided when I was after this game concluded, I was like, I would rather be wrong about Jaden than be late on the train with Jaden.
Yeah,
and that's just what I've decided.
Yeah. And that's totally fine. I just don't want to jump on every time a rookie has a great season.
Yeah. Well,
this is guy's the next
I think
one.
even when we talk about CJ, I don't remember saying this about CJ. I remember saying like this was definitely like one of the better. Like I probably said this was like the best rookie year we've seen up into this point because by a quarterback, it really was like numbers wise.
Yeah,
it
bro,
really
he was balling, bro.
But I definitely wasn't saying like obviously he's not the best quarterback in the AFC. We probably had him high.
Yeah, but the AFC is so
loaded.
You can't. Jaden Daniels not the best quarterback in the AFC,
and that's why and I didn't say that though.
I know,
and that's why I'm saying NFC specifically.
I know, but CJ's in the AFC.
If you look at the landscape of the NFC, like,
but if CJ was in the NFC last year,
okay, but yeah,
you would have said
I
it.
probably might have said it about CJ. Seriously, but
I
I might not have strictly because Matt Stafford was still like I depending on where we were in the season, I probably would have still said Matt Stafford, but
he would have been like.
Yeah, I would say like he's a good second. Like, yeah, I would say even right now, if CJ's in the NFC, like I would take him third behind those two, over every other quarterback in the NFC. Like, I have no problem saying that. I think even too in terms of the AFC, if we actually like go down and look at like the quarterback rankings of the league, CJ's I'd still put CJ in the top 10 in terms of who I would take right now.
Yeah, but the quarterback position is so loaded in the league.
I know.
Top 10 is not saying too much, but it's a
testament though to say top 10 with how loaded it is. But
it is.
Anyways, listen. I want to talk more about the Commanders getting into this Eagles game, but if there's one, we keep having the conversation. I was surprised because somebody had it on TV, and I actually laughed when I was listening to them have it. Because you clown on me all the time for saying like I picked this team, but I wouldn't be surprised if the other team picks it, right? And we keep going back and forth. Like I'm not saying like I'm not trying to find a way to be right in both situations. I'm just saying there are situations where I would be surprised, and there's situations where I would actually just like not be surprised if the other team won because it's that close, even though I'm making a pick. Somebody on TV literally had the exact same conversation, and it was the exact same thing. It was like, no, I'm not trying to be right on both sides. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised. And I was thinking about this because I was like, there are situations where genuinely I was surprised, and this was one of them. I was genuinely surprised they won in the way they did.
Yeah.
It was not on my thought process at all. Like if you told me the Commanders won a week ago, I would have told you like, oh, they probably won like a close nail biter like at the last minute because Jaden just made an incredible play like at the end of the game. But just controlling the game and Jaden Daniels just enforcing his will upon a very beat up defense where it's not get too crazy. It's a very beat up defense. But,
for sure.
I mean, they just couldn't stop. We talked about the fourth down percentage thing. They missed that first one with Mariota.
Yeah.
I don't think they missed another one, bro.
Nope.
They went the whole rest of the game.
That's
it's
crazy.
Insane.
If you can have 4 downs when every other team has 3,
it's stupid.
It's crazy.
And I was listening to someone talk about some stuff about it today. It has a higher percentage of hitting than the tush push did 2 years ago when they were trying to literally ban the tush push from the league.
That's insane.
That's stupid.
It's like the game plan is, listen, all right, let's try and get the first. I was like, on 3rd down, let's just get within 4 yards.
Striking distance.
If we get within 4 yards, we're good. We're going for it.
We're good.
We're going for it.
It's insane, bro. I can't believe it.
And it's, I think the biggest thing, and we can move on, but the biggest thing that's impressive with Jaden Daniels is his composure.
Yeah.
Dude is like chilling.
Yeah.
He's dropping beautiful balls in the bucket.
Heart rate is just
chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. And it is like I'm newer to following football this close. So I'm excited because like this is probably the first class that I have like watched draft.
You got lucky.
And I'm like, this is a great class. I've watched this class like get drafted and I'm like following every rookie.
Yeah.
And it has been freaking awesome.
Yeah.
To watch him just ball out, bro.
Yeah.
He's so good. I'm a big fan.
More than pumped to watch him succeed.
Yeah.
If he makes the Super Bowl, holy hell. Holy hell.
I'm gonna be the biggest Commanders guy.
I'm gonna be the biggest Commanders
I
fan
genuinely don't care if Buffalo's on the other side.
I don't care.
I'm Commanders.
I wouldn't be sad if Buffalo won that game if that was the matchup, but I definitely would be rooting for them.
I'm an East Coast guy till I die. But so you win either way.
Only thing I'll say about the Lions is it's funny because 9 weeks ago they had a 5 turnover game against the Texans and still won that game like convincingly, and everybody was like, doesn't matter. And they had 5 turnovers again this game, and it mattered severely.
It's because, like, dude, it's like they were turning over, but, like, Jaden Daniels scores every single time.
That's another thing about the Commanders. They score off turnovers.
Every time.
They're really good at it. They're really
They score dang near every drive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro.
Every drive.
They've punted. I don't remember the specific stat I heard, but their punt stats are, like, they're historically low.
Dude. That's insane, bro. God,
Yeah.
has a rookie ever won the Super Bowl?
No, rookie's never made the Super Bowl.
A rookie's never made the Super
Never
Bowl?
made the Super Bowl. They've all been stopped.
Dude, imagine. Imagine we get to watch history.
That would be crazy, bro.
Be so sick.
All right. 2 really fun snow games. Bills, Ravens.
Yeah.
I do think, honestly, like when you have 2 teams that are just this good and playing this well against each other, ultimately this game really came down to the few mistakes that Baltimore made that the Bills just didn't. And that was kind of my take from it.
With as many mistakes that Baltimore made, it almost felt like this game should have won by more.
Yeah.
Because Baltimore made way too many mistakes.
Yeah, they did.
And the fact that they only won by 2 is like, and that's even Mark Andrews dropped.
Yeah.
Not even like batted down, deflected. He dropped
the tying score.
A tying 2-point conversion.
If they get that, there's a minute 30 left on the clock.
Yeah, they still drove.
We'll see if would you think the Bills go down and get a field goal in that? I mean,
maybe, but
like 40 yards.
But Baltimore's like you're going into that drive a lot different as a defense.
I agree.
If you get the
drive before that too, the Bills literally went straight down the field. But I agree, like last second defense, that's very different.
It's very different. Like you're playing a lot more, a lot more intensity and whatnot.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm not mad. Buffalo won. Baltimore made way too many mistakes.
They just did the same thing
I just saw, like the Lamar fumble in the backfield. It's like you're just doing too much, and at least take the sack.
It wasn't even all on him too. I think the snow definitely played a factor in how slippery or hard that ball was.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
just
that
take the sack.
You're in the snow game, like
you
have to protect the ball better.
Just take the sack.
And the interception wasn't great either.
That I don't know if that was a miscommunication or what it was, but it was bad.
It was bad.
Very
Did
bad.
not look good.
Not even within like 10 yards of his guy.
No.
So I don't know if that was if Bateman ran the wrong route or if Lamar threw it where it wasn't supposed to be. I don't know. Either way, terrible.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews' fumble was really bad.
I want to say it's bad. It also was just a phenomenal play by the defender.
But why I say it's
really good play.
Why I say it's bad by Mark Andrews is because he caught it, and obviously caught it in the midst of Buffalo, all these Buffalo guys. He went backwards.
That's fair.
And to the guy that punched it out instead of going upfield
and just falling
and you don't have to take a hit. Yeah. The safeties were still like a good 5 yards away. Yeah. You catch it, you take 2 steps, and you just fall down.
Yeah.
And you let him touch it. You had the first. First was secured. It's you trying to do too much. Mm-hmm. And he made a great play, but you also went towards him. Yeah. For him to make the play instead of going upfield. Sure. It's just stuff like that. It's like, and then you drop the 2-point conversion. So it's like, I know a lot of people were mad at Mark Andrews. Listen, they made too many mistakes, and Buffalo, they really didn't. Yeah, so it's like that's what it came.
Very mistake-free football,
and that's honestly all they needed to do.
Yeah,
no make turnovers, run the ball well,
high efficient plays that get you yards. It wasn't a lot of fancy stuff.
No fancy.
Josh Allen didn't have a lot of yards.
Nope.
He barely had any rushing yards. He had only like 20 rushing yards.
Yeah,
which is insane.
He literally no big plays. So Baltimore took away the big plays. Yeah. They just kind of nickel and dime, ran the ball, and that's all they really needed to do.
Yeah.
And I just think if you limit those, we had 2 fumbles, a really bad pick.
Definitely changed because they scored off, I think, both of the first 2.
So it's like if you take away that 2 of those turnovers, it's like Baltimore probably wins the game.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't know, but like, it's 2 possessions right there that you get to like. And
that's
get
the
a field goal
margin you walk when you have 2 good teams. Like
it is, and so and that's just what it came down to. And Baltimore made way too many mistakes, and Buffalo made them pay.
And so I think that's really. I think we kind of wrapped that one up. Eagles Rams. Before we get into the previews, this was an absolute war.
It wasn't, and
it
wasn't,
at
but then
times
it was.
In this game, it wasn't, but at the end of it, it was.
Yeah, I got a little worried.
No, I
a little teeny bit.
I want to say I think the Rams probably pull that off if it's not snowing, but at the same time, I don't know. Like that's still I don't know. There was times that game where the Eagles defense was just enforcing their will on this team, and then there were times in this game where the Rams were just doing whatever the hell they wanted, and so I really thought they were gonna pull it off there at the end. Unfortunately,
I didn't think they would.
I thought they would, but unfortunately, listen. Probably the best defensive player on the field made the 2 plays that really mattered. And we talked about the turnovers in the last game. What it came down to in this one was listen, my star made just 1 more play than your star did. And like that's what it came down
That
to.
sack was huge
That
by
sack
Jalen
was
Carter.
huge. It pushed them so far back that they
Yeah.
had. It put you. We talk about situations with the Texans Chiefs game. It put them in a I have to get the ball down the field
Yeah,
situation.
and we know that.
In snow against a fantastic defense.
Yeah,
and it's like that's tough.
that's tough. That sack was huge.
That sack
and
essentially won them the game.
yeah,
like
no,
it really did.
It was funny too because before the game, obviously Byron Young and Jalen
Yeah.
Carter were
Yeah.
jawing at each other.
It was no, it wasn't Byron Young. It was Verse. It was the rookie.
Oh, Jared Verse,
It was
that's right.
Jared Verse,
Um,
which had a very good game.
he had a great game. Yeah. I think both defensive lines
yeah.
had a great
They
game.
were
They were
studs, bro.
cooking.
They were cooking.
But they were jawing at each other a little
Oh,
bit,
yeah, I
and
liked
then Jalen Carter was like, "Listen, I'm here, bro." And obviously that wasn't the only play Jalen Carter made. Jalen Carter was balling the whole game.
Yeah, he had a great
He just made the biggest play of the game, and so yeah, man, it's just both those D lines were cooking.
Yeah, dude.
They
Yeah.
both were.
Yeah.
And Stafford and Hurts were just eating sacks. It felt like
They
every
were.
drive.
They were. And then Stafford got it cooking at the end of that game. He was like, they were like starting to move at a quicker pace. I think they mentioned on the broadcast a couple times.
Yeah.
They're like, why didn't we go to this earlier? Because
Yeah.
you're moving down the field at will on this team. They get that. They executed their listen, this is why Sean McVay is one of the best coaches, if not like top 3 best coach in the league. Is just that his like end of game execution was like nearly flawless. He got the score quickly.
He got a quick stop.
He got a quick stop, saved his timeouts efficiently, used the 2-minute, got all that before the 2-minute warning,
Yeah.
and gave his team the ball, gave Matt Stafford, who's notoriously a comeback king. They said on the broadcast, this would have been like his 52nd had he executed it,
Mhm.
which, listen, he did a lot against the boys in purple. I promise you that.
Yeah.
And listen, he put it in his guys' hands, and unfortunately, like it did just come down to that Jalen Carter play. That's legitimately what it came down to. And the snow definitely played a factor.
Jalen Carter almost got a sack the play before too,
Yeah.
but he got it away.
Yeah, I know. So it's just 2 really great plays by Carter ended the game. That's really what it came down to. I think both these teams were equally matched. I didn't feel like one team was overtly better than the other. I thought they were very good. I thought the Rams defense has been playing like lights out lately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't stop probably the best player on the field, which listen, it's a tough task.
Yeah.
They honestly though they really did kind of bottle him outside those 2 really big plays.
Yeah,
That
there were
was, like,
2 touchdown plays.
I know, and like that's
14 points.
That's the problem with saying that is like they both were 60-yard runs, and you let Jalen Hurts bust out a 50-yard run. So it's like that's ultimately also what did you in.
Yeah, we boxed him in, but we also gave up 21 points
it's
off.
It's
The
tough.
only 3 plays we did allow.
We talk about like Henry and how like enforcing he is at the end of the games. That's kind of listen with these great star players, you can box them in for so long, but you have to do it nearly perfectly for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
All it takes for them is 1 play.
Yeah.
And we saw that with Saquon. Took 2 plays.
Yeah, dude. As soon as he got to the secondary, just dusted them.
Yeah, he's gone.
Dusted. Cooked them.
So
And it's like it's hard to tackle him.
yeah.
Which I understand, but it's also like it'd be hard to tackle him if it was perfect conditions. Like he's not an easy guy to tackle.
1,000%. His cuts would have been better on a perfect condition.
For sure. So he was. Oh my gosh, he's moving, bro.
All right, let's get to the first matchup. Championship Sunday's coming up, man.
Dude.
Divisional, you delivered. Thanks to Divisional Round because Wild Card Round had me down bad. But this was a good round of football. Can't wait for these next 2 games. Let's get into them. Let's get into the NFC Championship first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny, we all thought this would be the NFC North. Wrong.
NFC East.
NFC East, which I don't think was on anybody's bingo card at the beginning of the season. And if you said NFC East, a lot of people probably would have thought Cowboys. No.
I sure did not, but maybe other people.
Well, we didn't, but I'm sure if you told people at the beginning of the season, all NFC East, even if I told you, all NFC East, NFC Championship game, would you
what's
have said
funny?
the Commanders?
You know what? No.
Okay.
But you know what's funny? Is somebody said, I saw a tweet today. It was like, man, the NFC has really been run by the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Cowboys. And there's like community note. And it was like the community note said, the Cowboys haven't made the NFC Championship game in 29 years and counting.
And now that Washington's made the NFC Championship
They're the
game,
longest.
they are now the longest team in the NFC to not make the NFC Championship game.
They're so poverty.
It's pretty bad. But listen, my take for this upcoming game, Eagles are clearly the better team.
Roster-wise.
Roster-wise, playing right now, Commanders. I think they're playing better.
I agree.
What I will say about this game is if the Commanders score 40 points, I do not think the Eagles can keep up with them.
I agree.
But if they can't, I think the Eagles will be able to enforce their will a little bit, just as a better roster.
Yeah, they're 1-1 this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, the second game, Jane Daniels let a game-winning drive,
Yep.
and threw a game winner. It was freaking beautiful.
Oh, so
To
good.
Zacchaeus right in the middle,
Tasty.
back of the end zone. I agree with you. Update on our pick'ems before we get into
Okay.
maybe we go into the matchups a little more before we make a pick or anything.
Yeah.
On our pick'ems for the playoffs, House 1055 is down 3. So we missed 3 games. We missed 2 games the first round. We missed 1 game last round. So we missed the Vikings game we got wrong. We missed the Chargers game we got wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then we missed the Lions game because we took the Lions over Washington.
As did probably like 90% of America.
Yeah, a lot of people for sure. So that all being said, obviously, if you've been tracking with us, you know this Pick'ems League is very, 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 very competitive. I personally think 3 losses is too much, and we're out of it.
Yeah.
But our dear friend of the pod, Patrick, seems to think that there might be a chance, considering the Chargers game and the Lions game. We were in the mass majority in being wrong.
Yeah.
Only 19 people took the Texans to beat the Chargers, and I think only like 22 or 23 took Washington to beat the Lions.
Yeah.
Out of 105, I think.
Yeah.
So we were in the mass majority that got wrong. Now, the Vikings won. It was about 50-50. I think if you had to get a nod to majority, I think went Vikings.
I feel like probably the Rams were.
No, it was Vikings. It was Vikings. We have the numbers.
Oh, you have the actual numbers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was just maybe within 6 people gave us the majority in the Vikings. So it was very, very close. So I think we might be out of it. So I'm more or less want to pick on my heart for these last few. But we'll give all the information. We'll talk about it, and then we'll make our picks.
Informed decision. Yeah. So let's get into it. I feel like, listen.
So I would say Eagles have the better roster.
Yeah.
I think Washington has the better quarterback.
Yes.
And I think Washington has the better coaching staff.
Okay. I agree.
And so if you want to really boil it down to it, right? I think Eagles have the better running back, better O-line, better defense.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Better wide receivers.
Better wide receivers, yeah.
So everything but quarterback.
It's really everything. It really
staff.
is. It really is.
So it's is quarterback and coaching staff enough?
Mm-hmm.
So and Eagles are top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
and especially as of late, obviously Washington's not a top 10 defense. So that being said, Jalen Hurts is. Listen. Everybody's been saying this lately, last few years. You've been on this too.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is bad.
I hate to say that he's bad, but he just he's not played very well.
So I've been hearing that a lot from our friends and our group chats and stuff. I'm not ready to say he's bad, but I am ready to kind of look at and intrigue the option or kind of talk about maybe he's a little overhyped. I'm willing to open that conversation. I don't want to say he's bad. I don't think that's right. He still does what he has to do to win games. So I don't know. I'm starting to believe maybe the overhypeness a little bit of Hurts, but I don't know. What do you
think he's? See, I don't feel like he's hyped.
A little bit.
I don't think so. I think after last year, there's not really anybody propping him up as this great quarterback or propping him up as this elite quarterback. I think at this point, everybody just knows what his limitations are. And it seems pretty evident that they are scheming things to not have him make the decisions that could potentially turn to turnovers because he's been prone to be heavy turnover in the past. And there really are they're dumbing it down to, hey, if we're going to run it most of the time. A, we got Saquon. We're going to run it. And B, if your reads just aren't there, just run. You're a good runner. So just take off. And you got a great O-line to block for you. I just don't think he's overhyped. I feel like overhyped is if people really still considered him top 5, top 3 QB in even in the NFC. I don't think people think that of him anymore.
He's widely considered top 10 quarterback in the league.
I haven't seen.
You can name 10 quarterbacks.
I feel like I could.
You want to try?
Let's try. Can I look up the list of quarterbacks? Is that okay?
Sure. I mean, some of these are definitely going to be like obviously, and then some are going to be like your opinion. But
For sure.
I'd be curious to see if you can name 10.
So obviously,
You can name the big ones.
The for sure's. Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, Burrow. That's like for sure.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, I think is a for sure.
Okay.
I would still say Justin Herbert is a for sure. He's just been a better quarterback outside of Jalen Hurts having that 1 year, one incredible year.
Interesting. Okay.
I would still take him. Man, I would take Baker over him. I would take Jaden over him. From there, why does it put Carson Wentz as a starting quarterback for the Chiefs right here? Yeah, I mean, from there, that's where you start getting into like this is more of an opinion type thing. Like, I would probably I don't know if I would. I would probably take Goff over him. But like after that, I don't know. Like I think him and Love, him and Kyler, some other rookies would you take over him? Him and Geno. That's kind of like a closer debate. Did I say Jaden?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So like
I
guess he's like sitting around that portion of it.
I just think like you mentioned Herbert, I'd put him and Herbert in the same kind of.
But who would you put above the other? If it really came down to it. Like if you had to take only one of them.
Me personally, it depends what my roster is. On the Eagles, I'm gonna take.
If you built your team, who would you take?
Hurts.
So because you prefer that running style.
Yeah.
So
that's just me.
Yeah.
So, but either like not a one, but they're A and B. Sure. Like I'd say I put them in the same category. And of course, you've got your elites, your Burrow, your Mahomes, your Allens, and Jacksons. But like, still, it's just like I'm not ready to say he's bad. Because when I think of bad, I'm thinking of like
he should be lower than that. So who else from that list would you take above him? Because you're saying he's overhyped.
Yeah, I'd put him in the like lower top 10.
Okay.
But like that's me saying now I think he's a little bit overhyped. I'd move him down.
I mean, would you take Dak over him?
No.
Okay.
No. I would not take Dak. Like before, like I'm starting to kind of like my eyes are being open to like he's kind of a little bit more mediocre than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like from my perspective, like I would think you've got your elite tier and then you've got like Herbert. And then, I mean, this year, obviously, Daniels has been taking the league by storm.
Yeah.
Maybe CJ, but like the CJ Herbert Hurts all in like
Purdy. Yes, no?
I wouldn't take Purdy over
I feel like
Hurts.
He's in that same realm.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
yeah,
Purdy
he's had a
Purdy
decent
was top
season.
5 MVP last season.
He's a top. He had a. But then it's like you also have to like, and this is an argument for both, but like roster, obviously Hurts has a great roster.
Sure.
Purdy has a great roster.
Yeah, like I think both those players, you take them off those rosters, like what do they do?
We don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just I'm starting to see the overhyped. Maybe he's bottom line. I'm thinking he's middle of the pack top 10. That's what I thought before. Now I'm seeing like maybe he's like bottom top 10. Maybe like
I definitely never considered him like middle of the pack. I never considered him higher than like in the 6 and 7 range. Maybe after his MVP season I did. But after seeing last year I was definitely just like I just don't know.
Anyways, I'm starting to see it. He's bottom top 10 in my eyes.
I think, that's what this game is also going to come down to is like if the Commanders can jump out to a lead and you're putting the Eagles in we have to pass the ball to get the ball down the field
that's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
I don't know if that's going to work out for them. And that's ultimately why I don't see the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I'm being completely honest because like do I think there's a world where, they just get the lead in all the games from here on out and they just win because they run the ball down everybody's throats? Sure. But against the two teams in the AFC, I don't know if you can do that against them. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Because I think ultimately we'll talk about our picks here in a second. I guess I'll hold that. Let's hold our picks for now. Bills Chiefs.
We're not talking picks yet.
Not picks yet. We'll go to Bills Chiefs.
Okay.
The rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Part 4.
Yep.
Yeah. Part 4. Wow, this is gonna be a good game.
Yes.
I hope.
I hope it's
I hope.
Or if it's not, it's in Buffalo's favor.
It's in Buffalo's favor. Big blowout fans.
I wouldn't mind Buffalo like just spanking them.
It's not gonna happen.
No.
But you know what? I was reminded of I saw a stat today. Buffalo has not lost a game by more than a touchdown in like 4 years. They've actually only done it once. You know what the one game was?
Yeah.
It was earlier this year against the Ravens when they got stomped.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they have yet to lose a game by more than a touchdown in like the 3 years that Josh Allen has been like his prime self.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. That's super impressive. I do think, and I know we kind of got into this a little bit last week's matchup, I do think Buffalo is built to beat the Chiefs. They play a lot of the same high-efficiency game that the Chiefs do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not make mistakes. Let's take what they give us. Let's just move the ball down efficiently and keep the other people off the field. And also, their front seven is playing very well right now.
Yeah.
They are playing nasty ball.
Yeah, they're big boys,
they're
too.
big boys.
They're big boys.
And their offensive line is also playing really well. We talked, for all the talk we said about how good the Ravens front seven was, they ran the ball down their throats for a good portion of that game.
Yeah, and
Cook
has been
cooking. Sorry for the pun. I know Tony made it on the broadcast too, but I don't care,
He's
bro.
been cooking.
He's been playing
lately.
really well.
He's been playing very mature.
Yes, very mature.
Very mature.
And listen, Khalil Shakir actually like has some of the best like yak percentages in the league.
He's
like incredible after the catch.
Yeah.
So listen, I like if there's a team to do it, I agree. I think Baltimore had a chance. I wouldn't have said if Baltimore won this game, I definitely would still give Baltimore a chance. It's just in a very different way.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
a very different way, and I think the Bills can play the Chiefs game where I don't know if Baltimore could play the Chiefs game. And,
Yeah, I'd agree.
And so we'll see if that ultimately overcomes it, because we've only seen one team do this so far, and it was the Joe Burrow, and that team just came in with a little something on their
No, they
shoulder.
came in with hate.
With hate in their eyes.
They came in with hate.
And I don't know how many people are still on that roster that have lost to the Chiefs as many times as they have, but like, I don't know, man. If I'm like the offensive line, if I'm like the right guard, the left guard, center, I've got one picture up in my locker all week, and that's Chris Jones.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you are not beating me this week.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Chris Jones is doing the same thing to you. I really do. But like, someone's got to beat this team.
Karlaftis too, though.
Yes.
Is a problem.
And normally I'd be very hesitant to say, like, listen, the Bills beat them early in the year. I just don't know if they can do it twice. That's still in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, there's enough on both sides where they're both playing well enough where I don't feel like it's overwhelmingly in the Chiefs' favor.
Yeah. And I will say this year, and even through this playoffs, I mean, we've only seen Kansas City play one game. Not going to lie, still not impressed by Mahomes. He just like, I just because the last few years you watch Mahomes and you're like,
Yeah.
gosh darn it, dude.
It's not a fireworks
He
show.
is like, him on the field, like his team is going to win because he just looks that freaking good.
Yeah.
This year, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And I've been hiding behind they're learning how to win in different ways. Well, yes, that's true.
I kind of think that's what they were doing, unfortunately.
Yes, well, yes, that's true. I'm not gonna lie. Mahomes does not looks like how Mahomes, like the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I would say right now, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league.
I would say Josh is having the better year.
Yes,
100%.
like right now, like if we're matching up these teams,
Yeah.
I'm giving the quarterback edge to Josh Allen
Yeah.
because he's playing way better.
Yeah.
So that being said, and Mahomes is still Mahomes, and I'm not saying like, I know it's crazy to say like in a quarterback matchup you're taking somebody that's not named Patrick
When
Mahomes.
you see the stats of everything he's leading in, it's pretty crazy to say you're not going to take Mahomes.
But like the eye test is just like,
Yeah.
he's doing what he needs to do to win. And while yes, that's impressive,
Yeah.
they're scraping out these wins against, teams that have no business being in the same conversation as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going all in, dude. I'm here.
Listen, we're here.
I'm rooting heavy for Buffalo. Like, this is the year. You're
Yeah.
right. If the Chiefs want to play their game, Buffalo can do it.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. If
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to, they can do it.
Yeah. So
I just
So
need him
listen.
to show up, man.
we got two options here. We got Darkest Timeline, what we've been saying all year long. This is all cute and fun and great season, but it's just going to end with the Chiefs-Eagles in the Super Bowl where the Chiefs are hoisting the Lombardi for the third year in a row. Or we have a perfect society, a perfect utopia, if you would. An absolute perfect situation where we get to watch the Washington Commanders play the Buffalo Bills for the Super Bowl.
But hear me out. Worst case, but fun case. Worst fun
Worst
case.
fun
Kansas City makes it, but Washington makes it.
And we get to see Jay
and
Daniels take down the
wins.
dynasty.
Yes.
Yo, that would go insane.
I would call him the Messiah.
Yeah, he would, honestly, yeah.
He will be the NFL Messiah.
Man, that would be...
How insane would that be?
It would be the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports.
If Jane Daniels and Patrick played and Jane won,
it would be up there with Game 7 of the 2016 finals.
Oh my God.
I'm serious.
LeBron coming back 3-1.
Yes. Rookie quarterback
against the greatest team to ever play basketball.
Brother.
Statistically,
the only rookie quarterback to ever make a Super Bowl with a a pretty okay team, not a great team, an okay team, against a potential dynastic three-peat that we've never seen in the sport.
It's fair. And
I would put it up there,
and
bro.
what? They get 16-1, or what did they finish?
15-2, but
15.
they were technically 15-1. They laid down and showed their bellies for that last week.
Oh, for the Broncos, that's right.
So,
yeah.
Dude, I mean,
it's up there. It doesn't surpass.
No, it doesn't surpass. I'm saying, but like in
there.
memories of things I've watched with my own two eyes, that would be up there.
Yeah, because LeBron coming back from 3-1 was probably one of the is definitely the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've ever seen in my entire life.
In my life. And so if I saw Jane Daniels beat Mahomes, but that's only if he beat Mahomes.
Yeah,
if he goes and beats
Josh
Allen, it's cool.
It's still really awesome.
It's awesome.
Spectacular, but it's not like that
it's not
upper
up there.
echelon.
He has to beat Mahomes.
Because up until this point, the greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched was probably the Seahawks-Patriots game.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was probably the greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched.
Don't talk to my brother about it.
Yeah, I listen.
That's the first Super Bowl he ever watched.
I've got more heartaches than you, kid.
It's the first Super Bowl he's ever watched. And that year he picked the Seahawks to be his team, like his team for life. And he was like, "This is gonna be my team." Oh my gosh, we're in the Super Bowl. Oh.
Love that, bro. Love that. Man.
So yeah, I agree. We have a couple different timelines, and I just want to be on the one where Buffalo's in the Super Bowl.
Too, man. All right, so who we picking? So listen, we got two options here. If we really think we're down and out, we can big brain this. And if we're right,
we have four options.
If we're right, man, are we right?
Yeah.
But if we're wrong, we definitely lost.
Oh yeah.
Or we could just pick what we think is the safest picks, and just hope we're okay with the 3 losses that we've made. I think we both know which one.
Financially, it would help our podcast a lot if we won it.
Indeed.
But that's granted if the 3 losses is okay.
Yeah.
I think 3 losses is too much.
Yeah.
I say we go big.
I would tend to agree with you.
I say we swing like Barry Bonds. I'm glad to be back on the same page.
You had me hello, baby.
I was sad that we had parted last week. It had to be done.
It had to be done.
It was very cordial.
Indeed.
I'm just glad on the other side.
Yeah.
We came back together.
That's all that mattered. We're back.
Buffalo.
House 1055 as unified as ever. It's all Buffalo, baby.
And we're pushing Buffalo.
It was always the Bills, baby.
That being said, man. I do want to say this. So where we live, obviously me and Noah live in the same city. There is this pizza shop that is local. It's
pizza
just
and wings. Yep.
Pizza and wings. Yeah, it's a few minutes from my house. We discovered this place back in 2021 or 2022.
It was when we were first living together.
It was our senior year.
Yeah, as seniors.
It was our senior year, so it was either 2021, 2022. We discovered this place. I don't know. I think you found it.
I found it because my boss at the time is she is a massive Buffalo Bills fan.
That's right. And you told me about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, let's go get food here.
Yeah.
I said, all right, bet. So we got in our car. We drove over, walked in, and immediately this place is plastered in Buffalo Bills memorabilia. No, I went the other day because my wife, we needed to go get lunch, but we had to stay close.
Okay.
So I went the other day to grab a pizza. They added I kid you not.
Is it a shrine?
No. If they win a Super Bowl, that's coming though. There's gonna be a statue.
They have a spot picked out for it.
Yes. They already bought the spotlights. Yeah. It's just empty now.
They actually have a full-on life-size model statue.
Bro, I kid you not. The back of this pizza shop is a literal sports store for the Bills. It looks like if you go, if you go to, I don't know, what is Buffalo's arena called?
Highmark Field.
If you literally go to their stadium,
Yeah.
you know how every team, their home stadium, they have their own shop.
Yeah.
It's literally that.
That's actually insane.
You can buy Buffalo jerseys, Buffalo flags, Buffalo everything. It's literally.
How did they do that?
I don't know.
That's insane.
You're gonna see it though.
I am. I'm so
Because
excited. I haven't been there in so long.
We're gonna go on Sunday
Yeah.
for the Buffalo Bills game. They're playing at 6:30, so they're late night game.
Excellent.
We're gonna go and we're gonna watch the game at this. So I talked to the owner.
Bills jerseys while
I-
we're there?
If they win,
If they
yes. Listen. I talked to the owner.
Okay.
One times I went like a couple years ago. I went. I was talking to him because I was the only guy there,
Yeah.
and he was. So they're from Buffalo.
Yeah.
They moved down here and then obviously opened the pizza shop.
Yeah.
Plastered with
Yeah,
Buffalo
it's
Bill
decked
stuff.
down Bill stuff.
Dude,
Big fat
from
head of Josh
like-
Allen, yeah.
Dude, from like Buffalo, from like way.
Yeah,
like,
it's also like it's a bunch of different sports from Buffalo as well. Like,
Yeah.
they're just Western New York.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's not even like the new Buffalo Bills.
No, yeah.
You know, it spans
Old
back from like the
90s
beginning.
stuff, O.J. Simpson stuff, maybe.
I don't know about all that. Let's not put that on
Let's
them.
not put that on them.
So listen, all that to say, we're gonna go see the game. Obviously, they're
I'm so
definitely
excited.
they have like 30 TVs.
Yeah.
The game's gonna be on all 30.
I'm so excited.
And I'm super excited to just eat pizza,
Yeah.
eat wings, drink soda, and watch the Buffalo
Watch the damn
Bills.
Buffalo Bills, baby. As if we were here the whole time.
Hey, for all he knows, I've been on this train since week 1. Okay, he doesn't have to know anything different.
It's crazy because like I think it was after like one of the Chiefs wins over the Bills. I can't remember if this is the AFC Championship game or not, where we said like if they ever get to like a big game again,
Yeah,
we gotta go.
Yeah.
And they've only ever gone to the divisional round at this point. So like we've
Yeah.
always been like, nah, we can't.
Well, we thought about it again this last week, and we're
Yeah.
like, dude, let's go. And you had a Magic game
I had
you
to
were
go to a
going
Magic game.
I was like, dude, frick, bro, what if they lose?
I know. I was
We were so
worried.
scared.
I was really worried.
But they won,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'm sad the Ravens lost, but
Yeah.
I was like, but then I get to go have this
Was.
great experience. I get to go have this great experience.
And make no mistake, we might have to watch the Super Bowl there too if they.
Oh my God, if they make it, we're coming back. I kid you not. I'm in this experience. One, I'm expecting it to be packed.
Yeah.
I expect this guy to invite all his friends.
Oh yes.
Or everybody come to my pizza shop.
Anybody who has mentioned the name Bills at all.
Yes.
Anybody named Bill.
Everybody named Bill or Buffalo.
Or Buffalo.
Like
Buffalo Bill himself will be there.
from the Midwest.
Serving you pizzas.
I expect nothing less. A touchdown happens, like
Oh, dude.
free round of wings.
Oh my God.
You
That would
know,
be
like,
insane, bro.
I'm imagining like
You're going to have to drive me home. I'm going to get drunk with a couple Buffalo fans. I swear to God, I will, bro.
this experience is gonna be. I just have so much
I
expectations
do
for this
too.
experience. I'm expecting packed house. We're rooting for the Bills
What
too.
do we wear like blue and red, I guess?
Yeah, you wear red, I wear
Hey,
blue. Bloods and Crips.
Dude, you know what my favorite part, honestly, of the night is going to be?
Call me
For
Snoop
that
Dogg.
first call to come in that goes the Chiefs' way. And all of us,
No,
no, fuck
fuck
that, bro.
Rams."
It's the bad call. I can't wait.
Another round of beer.
Another round of beer. I can't wait, bro.
It's gonna be all. I'm
gonna electric.
planning on eating a lot of pizza,
It's
a
gonna
lot
be
of
electric.
wings, and a lot of soda.
And this is like authentic food. This is really good.
Oh,
Shout
it's
out to
really
that
good.
716 Pizza Joint.
Dude,
I know y'all aren't listening, but we're gonna be there. We'll tell you about us. You guys are awesome. We can't
dude,
wait.
the food is. Me and my wife went the other day, and I was like,
Incredible.
I forgot how good that pizza is.
You want real buffalo wings? That's where you go.
Dude, I'm so pumped, bro.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go back since I went like 2 weeks ago, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait. I gotta wait till
Since I
Sunday.
went just 2 weeks ago.
I gotta wait till
Thinking about it in my
Sunday.
dreams.
I have been, bro. I've been like, I really want to eat it again, but I was like, oh, I gotta wait because I'm gonna. Like,
You can't jinx it.
what do you mean?
If you went early.
I know.
You
No,
couldn't
no, no. I'm
jinx it.
staying
Try
away.
to-
I'm staying away. So listen, I'll be there on Sunday, with or without my comrade right here.
Yeah.
Hopefully with him, and we're gonna just, dude, we're just gonna rock
it's gonna
out.
Be electric, bro.
Now watch it just be a ghost town there.
Nobody
Hey,
there.
but we'll be there.
Just us rooting on
Hey.
the Bills.
Hey, but listen,
Yo.
we'll do more than the community did. So
That
I'm
is so
super
funny.
excited, man. Let's
I'm so
so
excited.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
How
All the
about
way.
that?
All the way, baby.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Um,
All right. So when it comes down to the Eagles pick,
Now this one's tough.
now this one, since we're already kind of on the train for Buffalo, I'm all in. I'm 10 toes down. I've already put half my body in the swimming pool,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to dive into the deep end.
Okay.
I think the Washington.
You going
Commanders are gonna
Washington.
do it. Listen. I know
Yeah.
the brain pick is
This is
Eagles.
this is the one where it's like when it came to Buffalo, Kansas City,
Yeah.
before we started talking, before you gave stats, before I was listening,
Yeah.
but I knew I was going Buffalo.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My heart was too loud.
For sure.
Here, logic is creeping in.
It's tough.
It's
the
tough.
Logic is creeping in.
So here's where I'm at. Philly's home.
Yeah.
So like playing in Philly is never fun.
Yeah. Another cold game.
Washington lost in Philly.
Mm.
Philly's got the better roster. It makes sense for a Buffalo Philly Super Bowl. That sounds more
Sounds better.
logical than a Washington Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the NFL scripted. Taking Buffalo is probably already going against the script if there was a script. So it's like, if we do crank out the Buffalo one somehow, it'd be nice to, like, if we took a safe pick and Philly did win, and then we watched Buffalo win, it would mean more because it's like, dude, we got it right.
Yeah.
All that being said, I'm all in on Washington.
Come at it, baby! Washington, baby!
House 55 stays together,
Yes!
baby.
We stick together.
Give me Washington and Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Now, if we are right, I'm scared to see our picks.
Oh my
I
God.
want to make sure we stay together.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be really
but
hard.
let's get there first.
Let's get there first. One step at a time. We're all in. Patrick, listen to us or don't. I don't care.
It's up
here.
to you. Our heart, my
grand
heart
old
is speaking louder than my brain.
Yeah, it really
and my
is.
heart is saying I want to see Jane
It is.
Daniels be the first rookie in the Super Bowl.
I agree.
And I want to see Josh Allen freaking
Wax him.
whoop the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh man, yeah, sounds good. All right, good
Man.
stuff.
All right.
Good stuff.
Day after my birthday.
I know. Big stuff.
It's
Championship Sunday's gonna be crazy. I think I'm gonna be streaming the first game with a buddy of mine, if he can somehow get back onto TikTok, which I don't think is gonna happen. So we'll see. But
yeah.
But no, I'm excited. Tune into the channel. Tune into the social medias. And don't forget, we had all this talk this year just to watch the Chiefs win another 3-peat. We'll catch y'all later, guys. Peace.